여러분 안녕하세요. 대한민국 영어 감잡기 프로젝트 데미안과 함께하는 너쉬영북 시간입니다. 이번 시간은 18강 리딩입니다. 55쪽 새로 시작되는 여기 챕터 Among Thieves 여기서부터예요. 연관문은 핑크로 표시되어 있고 역시 독해에서 확인하세요. 자, 들어가 볼까요? If I wanted to, I could recall many delicate moments from my childhood. The sense of being protected that my parents gave me, my affectionate nature, simply living a playful, satisfied existence in gentle surroundings. But my interest centers on the steps that I took to reach myself. All the moments of calm, the islands of peace whose magic I felt, I leave behind in the enchanted distance. Nor do I ask to ever set foot there again. This is why, as long as I dwell on my childhood, I will emphasize the things that entered it from outside, that were new, that impelled me forward or tore me away. These impulses always came from the other world, and were accompanied by fear, constraint, and a bad conscience. They were always revolutionary and threatened the calm in which I would gladly have to continue to live. Then came those years in which I was forced to recognize the existence of a drive within me that had to make itself small and hide from the world of light. The slowly awakening sense of my own sexuality overcame me, as it does every person, like an enemy and a terrorist, as something forbidden, tempting, and sinful. What my curiosity sought, what dreams, lust, and fear created, the great secret of puberty, did not fit at all into my sheltered childhood. I behaved like everyone else. I led the double life of a child who is no longer a child. My conscious self lived within the familiar and sanctioned world. It denied the new world that dawned within me. Side by side with this, I lived in a world of dreams, drives, and desires of a thanic nature, across which my conscious self desperately built its fragile bridges. For the childhood world within me was falling apart. Like most parents, mine were no help with the new problems of puberty, to which no reference was ever made. All they did was take endless trouble in supporting my hopeless attempts to deny reality and to continue dwelling in a childhood world that was becoming more and more unreal. I have no idea whether parents can be of help, and I do not blame mine. It was my own affair to come to terms with myself and to find my own way, and like most well-brought-up children, I managed it badly. Everyone goes through this crisis. For the average person, this is the point when the demands of his own life come into the sharpest conflict with his environment, and the way forward has to be sought with the bitterest means at his command. Many people experience the dying and rebirth, which is our fate, only this once during their entire life. Their childhood becomes hollow and gradually collapses. Everything they love abandons them, and they suddenly feel surrounded by the loneliness and moral cold of the universe. Very many are caught forever in this impasse, and for the rest of their lives, cling painfully to an irrevocable past, the dream of the lost paradise, which is the worst and the most ruthless of dreams. But let me return to my story. The sensations and the dream images announcing the end of my childhood are too many to be related in full. The important thing was that the dark world, the other world, had reappeared. What French grammar had once been was now part of myself. Several years had gone by since the episode with Cromer. That dramatic time filled with guilt lay far in the past and seemed like a brief nightmare that had quickly vanished. French Cromer had long since gone out of my life. I hardly noticed when I happened to meet him in the street. The other important figure in my little tragedy, Max Demian, was never to go out of my life again entirely. Yet for a long time he merely stood at these distant fringes, visible but out of effective range. Only gradually did he come closer, again radiating strength and influence. I'm trying to see what I can remember of Demian at that time. It is quite possible that I didn't talk to him once for a whole year or even longer. I avoided him and he did not impose himself on me in any way. The few instances that we met, he merely nodded to me. Sometimes it even seemed as though his friendliness was faintly tinged with derision or with ironic reproach. But I may have imagined this. The experience that we had shared and the strange influence he had exerted on me at that time were seemingly forgotten by both of us. 자, 오늘 읽기는 여기까지입니다. 오늘 영상이 여러분이 영어의 감을 잡는 데 도움이 된다면 구독, 좋아요, 공유로 알려주세요. 더 좋은 영상을 만드는 데 큰 힘이 될 것입니다. 여러분 감사합니다.